Hi guys, welcome to Wind on the Move. I'm Saqib, and in today's video, I'm going to be disassembling and assembling a mechanical hand mount movement. You can go along with me as I go step by step. I have also put down at the start of the video a list of all the equipments that you would need. It's also in the description down below. I've also noted the times that you can skip to for just the disassembly and assembly of the watch. Enjoy. Before we start disassembling the watch, these are the equipments that you will need. Anti-skid mat, 6-finger Cots, movement cushion, a Watchmakers Pick, or you can use a pegwood, hand installers. It's always good to have 3 for hours, minutes and seconds. Screwdrivers, different sizes, and more screwdrivers, like these are the bigger ones. A hand and cannon pinion remover. It's always good to have this, but if you can't get this, then a hand remover will do. I'll use this today in the video as well. A loupe, an air blower used to blow out dust before we put the movement back into the case, a soft silicone sheet, a watch cleaner, we like clay-like, a diamond file, tweezer, you can also have a plastic tweezer, case and movement holder, in addition to the movement cushion showed before, a friction ball, parts container, I have some parts in there already, a TimeGrapher, and a watch. I'm using the Movement Seagull ST3600. It's good for beginners as it's a bigger movement, so it's easier to disassemble and assemble. And if you can't get this, then you can use any other mechanical hand-wound movement. Let's use the TimeGrapher to time the watch before we begin to disassemble it. You can see that the watch is performing at minus 37 seconds per day. We will see if we can bring that down after we have disassembled and assembled the watch. Amplitude at 296 degrees. Let's begin with the disassembling of the watch. First, we remove the straps, of course. Move on to the case back. We will use the friction ball to turn and remove the case back. Remove the gasket ring. Before we start to use the screwdriver on the watch, we need to make sure we file all the screwdrivers so that all the uneven edges are removed. So I'm filing the sides of the driver now. Also the tip. Just making sure all the uneven edges are evened out. That's better. Also make sure all the edges on the other drivers are also made even. Put on the 6-finger Cots now. We'll take the case and put it in the case holder. We'll tighten it up so that it's secure. Now we need to make sure that we release the main spring before we go ahead. So the ratchet wheel, we need to use the ratchet wheel where it locks in. So you can see when I wind it, it locks there. So I'll just use the screwdriver to nudge the screwdriver into that small opening there. soon as I wind it, it opens up, and I will just nudge it there and release the mainspring. We'll wait for the balance wheel to stop. Now you can see that it has stopped. Now we need to remove the mounting ring. So these two screws that you see, go ahead and unscrew these. Take them out. Please do use the container so that you don't lose the parts. The other side as well. Take out the holders of the ring as well. On both sides. I'm going to now remove the crown. So for that, we will first just turn over the case and set the time at 12 first. And then you will see this screw next to the crown. You have to turn it just 2.5 times anti-clockwise. Carefully, that you don't do it more than 2.5. There it comes out. Now I'll take it out of the case. You can remove also the mounting ring. You can see it on the edge. Just zoom out a bit, and there comes the mounting ring. Now I like to move on to the movement cushion for the next stages. So I'll take the movement cushion. Now we need to take out the hands. So I'll use the silicone sheet. This is to protect the dial. So when you're taking out the hands, you don't harm the dial itself. Take the Cannon pinion and hand remover. This one is just you hold on the edge sides, and then you just press onto the dial and then press the sides inwards. You'll see now, and that's it. It automatically pulls out the hands. For this watch, we have also the small seconds, so that has to be taken out separately. We put these hands in the container, and now for the small seconds, we put the sheet back on. And now I'll use the other hand remover because this is a smaller hand, so this is much easier to take out with a crowbar type hand remover. Oops, need to take that. Now time to remove the dial itself. There's 2 screws on each end. I'll show you. Just turn them half to loosen the dial. It's right there, and it just comes off. There we go. Remove the hour wheel and the dial washer. Now we'll remove the Cannon pinion. For that, we'll use again the Cannon pinion and hand remover. Same way as we removed the hands, just press and there it comes off. Put that in the container. Turn the dial. Now we'll move on to the balance wheel assembly. It's one screw for the balance wheel. Just take it off. Do not lose the screws, put them in the container. Take that off, just use my fingers. Make sure that you put the balance wheel in the container like this, otherwise the hairspring will get spoiled. So put this way. Now to remove the pallet fork, we have to remove this guard that holds it. So the two screws, just take them off. The one. And this will come off. We'll move on to the pallet fork. Be very gentle with it. There it is, the pallet fork. And we'll remove the ratchet wheel. It's just one screw in it. Use the bigger screwdriver for that. It comes off. And now we move on to the mainspring bridge. It has 3 screws. And we'll proceed to take them out. It should come off now. There we go. Now we'll move on to the mainspring barrel. It's easily just taken off like that. And there is center wheel, and there it comes out. Use the pegwood or the pick to see if the wheels are running smoothly. Now we'll remove the gear train bridge. It's 2 screws. It comes off. Now we'll remove the center wheel. It's the center wheel. The forked wheel. Third wheel. And the escaping wheel. Now we turn it over and we'll proceed to remove the yoke. It's just 1 screw. Take it out. By the way, we also have to remove the winding pinion and the clutch wheel, which I forgot. They are there where the crown enters. It's right there. So don't forget to take them out. And we're gonna remove the clutch lever. We need the watch cleaning clay. This is so that the spring doesn't bounce off. It's quite likely that this could just spring out basically. So we'll use this clay to just hold the spring in place to remove the lever and the spring itself. So we remove the spring first, and you see how this helps. This watch cleaning clay helps it not, if you lose this, it's quite difficult to find it. Remove the lever as well. Then we'll proceed to remove these 3 wheels. We'll start with the setting wheel. Take that off first. then the intermediate wheel, and the minute wheel. Now we'll flip it over because we need to remove the setting lever. So we need to unscrew the screw just beside the crown. We unscrew this and we can turn it back around and remove the setting lever. And the screw itself. Now we have finished with the disassembly. You can always oil these jewels, but I'm not gonna be doing that in this video. Now we will begin with the assembly phase. We begin with the escapement wheel first. The shorter end will be at the bottom. Make sure that it goes into the jewel properly. Just making sure that it's secure. Next, we install the fourth wheel. It's next to the escapement. This one, the longer edge will be on the bottom, at the bottom. Then we install the third wheel. And in the end, the center wheel. And we'll proceed on to install the gear train bridge that will go into the 3 escapement wheel, 4th wheel, and the 3rd wheel. It will cover. So you can see these 3 jewels will cover the 3 wheels. Just place it there, just gently, and make sure all the ends are inside the jewels. And then we check with the pick if it's running smoothly. It is. Now we can proceed to screw the bridge on. Just put the screws in. There you go. Just checking if it's running smooth. You have to check inside if it's all nice and secure, as you can see. Checking the escapement wheel. I'm changing it to the case holder now, as it's more secure. Then the mainspring barrel. And we'll install the setting pin next to the crown, where the crown goes. Just a setting pin. There we go. And now we proceed to put in install the mainspring bridge. Sorry. This will also just slide in. And there you go. Put the 3 screws in for the mainspring bridge. Put them in and then screw them. That's it. Now we install the ratchet wheel. Make sure that it fits securely in first before you put in the screw. You can again use the bigger screwdriver for this one. Now we can turn it around. We have to install the Canon pinion. So we put it in, and we'll use the tweezer just to press in until you hear a clicking sound. There you go. Install the winding pinion. Put the longer edge on the left side, and the clutch wheel as well we'll install. There you go. And we'll put in the crown with the stem. You can see the crown is in now. Install the setting lever. We'll hold the lever down and then turn it around and tighten the setting screw on it, just on the opposite side. So you can see, we'll tighten the screw here. There you go. Now we'll proceed to put in the clutch lever. Just checking if it's secure. This is the spring and the clutch lever. Slide it into that slot. There's the clutch lever. And now we want to put in the spring. Make sure you're very careful again with the spring, as it can get lost easily. You can use the pegboard or the Watchmakers Pick to hold down one end of the spring and then push in the other. I'm just using my hand here. Better to use a screwdriver, I think. I'm just gonna push this in. And there you go. It's secure there. You can always use, as I said, a pick to hold it down while you push it in. Now we'll put in the 3 wheels. Setting wheel, intermediate wheel, and the minute wheel. Now we can go ahead and install the yoke. Again, this goes into the 2 wheels. You can see the slot. I'll just show it to you in a second. And there you go. It will just slide into those 2 slots. And put in the screw. And there you go. Make sure that this movement it's making right there, it has to move between those 2 positions. That's it. That means it's secure. Now we can go ahead and put in the balance wheel assembly. First we put in the pallet fork. Be very gentle, and the longer edge will be at the bottom. That will go into that jewel right there. Just slide it in there. It might take some time to get it in there. There you go. Ensure that this one is also, the jewel is sitting on top of the pallet fork. And into these 2, install the screws. Now it's time for the hairspring. It will just slip in usually. Just use your thumb to check if it's going back and forth. You can always check the pallet fork moving in there. And if you're okay with it, you can secure it with a screw. Now we turn it over and install the hour wheel and the dial washer. And we can proceed to put in the dial itself, the 2 points that you can see on the screen. Put it in there and secure it with the screw again, half a turn to lock it in on both sides. And now it's locked. Now we can proceed to put the hands on. Be very careful that you don't spoil the dial when you're putting the hands on. Start with the seconds hand, place it on there, and then use the hand setting tool. Just in a sec. Use the one that fits the seconds hand. We'll just place it on top of it, the joint, and press it down so that it's secure. We'll do the same for the hour hand now. You just have to use different setting hands that fit each hand. So this one fits the hour hand for me, so I'll use that to press down for the hour hand. And now for the minutes hand, again use the hand setting tool that fits the hand, and make sure it's always at 12 o'clock when you set the hand. Check that the hands are moving properly, and that's it. Now before we put it into the case, we have to remove the crown. So again we do the same thing, turn it around, and we turn the screw next to the crown anti-clockwise 2.5 times, and we can pull the crown out, sorry. Now we'll put it on the cushion, and we'll just take the case and place the right position. Now before we do that, we have to make sure it's clean, so we just use the air blower to blow out the dust. We just flip the cushion and we remove the cushion, and that's it. Our movement is in the case. Now we can put the ring that holds it secure, using the pegboard to push it down. And now we'll have to put the screws and the holders in. This is quite tricky, so it might take some time for you guys as well. Don't get frustrated, but just keep at it and you'll get it. The trick is to tighten screw at one end slightly, and then the other end slightly, and then do the both sides, and not to tighten one end fully at one time. Now the movement is secure in the case. Now we can put in the crown back in. So we put the stem in, and then we turn the screw clockwise 2.5 times until the crown is secure. You can just check if it's secure. That's it. The case is, now the movement is in the case. Put in the gasket again. Let's use the pegboard to make sure the gasket is in place. We'll use the air blower on the case back as well, so just so that all the dust is off the case back. And will secure it and use the friction ball again to tighten the case back. And that's it. It's fully assembled. Now we'll use the TimeGrapher again just to check how the watch is performing after the assembly. You can see that the rate has improved. That's actually at 0 seconds per day. The amplitude is the angle at which the balance wheel is rotating. So it's rotating at like 275 degrees. That's quite normal. So the rate can of course be, amplitude is the health of the watch actually. The main thing that matters when you want to know if your watch is healthy. You can always change of course, adjust the rate. You can see at the case back, there is a position you will see the plus and minus that can be adjusted, by removing the case back, which I'll show in a bit. You can remove the case back and adjust it if you're not happy with the rate of the watch. Right here we can see it's minus 33, so I'll just use the the pick and push it to plus ever so slightly, and now you can see that the rate will improve. There you go. And that's how you use TimeGrapher. Hey guys, do like this video if you enjoyed it, and also follow me on Instagram at WiningOnTheMove. Until next time, cheers.